Well, my. It seems that Stellantis can't pay their bills. You know what happens when you don't pay suppliers? They don't supply you with stuff. What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and today's video is interesting. I put this narrative out there yesterday, basically talking about either Stellantis is violating their UAW contract or they're broke. Now, most of you guys know that myself and OC Motivator and Butter the Insider, we talk on a regular basis, right? And OC Motivator made a great point in the chat talking about how much money they had cash on hand. Now, so here's the thing. I don't expect everybody to understand financials and the stock market and things of that nature. That may not be your lane, and I get it. I understand. But it's important. I guess I'll just give the numbers part. I was going to use an analogy, and I figured somebody would get offended if I analyzed it that way. So I won't do that. So let's say, as OC Motivator had said, they had $58 billion of cash on hand with 230 or something around there billion in operating cost. Well, when that continues to happen, year over year, that cash goes like this. It's gone. It doesn't exist. It's fairy dust. It's fugazi. It's fugazi. But I think the thing that is more funny to me is I think Stellantis is firing all these people or laying off all of these people, trying to be slick, trying to save costs so that they can pay their bills. And they jumped on to FCA and acquired that like, we can 100% afford that. It's like Stellantis is the kid that really wants a Hellcat but works at Publix bagging groceries, and that Hellcat payment is $1,300 a month, and all he makes at Publix is $1,405, and he forgot all about the $300 or $400 a month he was going to have to pay in insurance, never mind the gas and everything else. So now he's out doing Uber in that Hellcat. Yeah, that's Stellantis right now. Stellantis really wanted that Hellcat, and they got it. And they can't afford that shit. And then not only did they buy the Hellcat, they curb rashed the wheels, they busted up the suspension, ruined the engine, can't even put the Hellcat engine in it anymore. Now we got this Mickey Mouse ass inline six that they're trying to put into the Hellcat. So it's no surprise that the company's doing this. And what's funny is the biggest Stellantis promoters for me, and I'm going to laugh when the board of directors either directs Carlos to step down or they're going to straight up fire that dude. And I'm going to say it like this. You can play around with the numbers all you want. Corporations do this all the time. Corporations like Uber don't pay drivers if, you can't cash out for a day or two before their earnings report so they can pad how much cash they have on hand. Google does it with YouTubers not paying out on the 21st because they want to build up that cash on hand to have that in a monthly report that they can use in earnings later. Companies do this kind of crap. It's going to catch up with Stellantis, though, because they don't have enough to stay afloat. They don't. And when you have already a glutton of inventory on all of your lots, You can't sell it. Nobody wants a Hornet. Nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants your Ram with an inline six in it. All of your Cherokee L's keep getting bought back. The Grand Cherokees are trash. Edmunds has broke down on them, what, 3 times now? So you're going to continue to see this Mickey Mouse crap. But it's going to catch up with Stellantis. Because when you can't pay your suppliers, that's what's going on now. All of those vehicles that are sitting outside of the plants in Detroit, those trucks, they can't finish them because they can't get the parts in because they're not paying their bills. They're way past due. And there's only so much time that companies are going to keep feeding you stuff. Because here's the thing. It's business. And if you never owned or operated your own business, and I've had several, from boats to strip clubs, sometimes the cash flow isn't there that month. And your creditors, your suppliers, they'll let you get by with it for a month. They might let you get by with it for 3 months. But at some point, when you don't pay them, they want their money. And they're not going to mess with you anymore. They're not going to give you anything. It's no different. I mean, I'm sure we'll have people in the comments. I know where the demographic is and the different people that view my channel. We have a great mix. But being somebody who's lived in Miami for a long time, I mean, if you know guys that may have partaken and or sold stuff that we weigh out by the gram, your supplier is not going to continue to give you stuff if you don't pay your bills. That's just a fact. So whether we're talking about car parts or dope, it's the same thing. If you don't pay your bills, it's not going to continue to go. If I don't continue to pay my Verizon bill or my T-Mobile bill or the AT&T bill, guess what happens? They cut the phone off. They'll let you get by for a little bit. But eventually, if you don't pay for what you're getting, they're going to say no more. And now Stellantis is in trouble because they have not hundreds, thousands. Now, I've been in conversations, messaging back and forth with people from UAW, workers, different level of stuff. And when I first got contacted, I was like, send me something so I know you are who you say you are. Like, send me a badge, send me your business card, send me an email address, whatever. I had multiple people that were just employees that work for the union, right, or work with the union. And then I had somebody hit me up, like, straight up from the union. And the union thinks Stellantis is intentionally not paying for these parts, knowing that they will get cut off as a way to starve off inventory. Trying to circumvent and not violate the contract. So if they have to furlough those workers, it may not be as expensive to them because they don't have the parts to build the cars or the trucks. Scumbag activity. You want the Hellcat. Carlos wanted the Hellcat. Boy, did he want the Hellcat. He can't afford the Hellcat. So Carlos has a couple choices at this point. Keep driving the Hellcat on Uber and run it into the ground until there's nothing left of Dodge. And then they'll end up keeping Jeep and probably getting rid of Chrysler and maybe even wrapping Ram up into Jeep or selling it to somebody else, like China. And Dodge will be gone, like Oldsmobile and other places, unless maybe they want to sell them to China too. More on that in the upcoming video. But you're going to see the people walking away from Stellantis now. Multiple executives, people at different positions. They're taking their golden parachutes now. Because the math ain't mathing. And that's just facts. You don't have to like it. Say whatever you want. I personally don't care. The only thing I care about is I'm watching a company intentionally try to screw employees in Detroit. I'm watching a company that is taking a brand that is beloved by all of us and turned it into dog shit. And I'm sick of seeing it. And Carlos is over there in France drinking his pissy ass little French tea with his failure fries, waiting to wave the white flag. That's what you guys in France do, right? Said what I said.